So I'm curious about how many of you might think, or what are your thoughts?
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Old Bachman's Valley Road.
The 14th Amendment brought about a foundational change in the structure of the United States of America.
Take the next left onto Old Bachman's Valley Road.
Sense that so the 14th Amendment, it's weird. It was very much a stone soup of amendments in that you've got 4 sections in it.
Continue for half a mile.
And that first section itself has a whole bunch of other weird stuff in it. And basically it's got the due process clause, but then it also says that no state shall pass any law that restricts any freedom from any individual that has also been established to the federal government.
In a quarter mile, turn right
and
onto
that's not
Maryland 97
obviously
North,
the phrasing of it.
Littlestown Pike.
That's obviously not the phrasing of it, but that's basically what it says. It says if the Constitution says that the federal government can't restrict this right, then no individual state
Take the next right onto
can
Maryland
restrict this
97
right.
North, Littlestown Pike.
And that's the underpinning of, for example, the Obergefell decision about marriage equality. It's the underpinning of the effectiveness
Continue on
of
Maryland
the
97
13th
North
Amendment,
for 3 miles.
which is why it came, where it came, when it came. It's the underpinning of Brown v. Board of Education. It was the underpinning of the Jane Roe v. Wade decision. And here's, we'll get back to that one too. Well, really, we can just wrap them all up together. So here's the question. I guess 2 questions. Number 1, there are a lot of they tend to be conservatives who seem not to think that the 14th Amendment says what it actually says. And here's what it at least seems to say: that it was a fundamental change in the structure of the United States. That up until that point, the United States of America had been operating as a gathering of states, a gathering of countries that all had an agreement about certain stuff they were going to all do, but then each individual country, basically, each individual state, basically operated as its own country. But then we wind up in this weird situation where now we're saying that if there are, freedoms that are everybody's, no individual state gets to restrict them either. So I guess, what do you think? I mean, does that represent as foundational a change as I seem to interpret it? Or is it more narrow than that? Or do you believe it should be more narrow than that? As, for example, Clarence Thomas has very clearly shown disdain for the 14th Amendment in many ways. Many members of Congress have expressed extreme disdain at the birthright citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment. There's a lot going on in the 14th Amendment that a lot of, let's admit it, they all happen to be conservatives, and the conservatives seem to be holding up in the Republican Party. So they seem not to acknowledge the presence and meaning of the 14th Amendment to the United States
In
Constitution.
half a mile, your destination will be on the left.
So, again, what do you think about the 14th Amendment?